Not scanty talk, another 3 points lost out, I think. You know, we've just lost 1-0 to Aldershot at home. We were expecting a bit of a response after losing out on a place at Wembley against Hornchurch at the weekend, and we've just not seen it. Now, don't get me wrong, the penalty wasn't a penalty. It was probably the softest penalty I've ever seen. I think the ref wasn't really great, to be honest with you. I mean, it's no excuse. I'm not using it as an excuse, but it wasn't a penalty. One of those games where if that penalty doesn't get given, it's got 0-0 written all over it, but not just, I'm sorry, they just weren't good enough today. It's difficult, obviously, for the manager. You're not judging the manager off this performance. It's more of a judging the players sort of thing. So, I mean, it makes it difficult to do player ratings after games like today, because I can't really pick out one player that's played exceptionally well or really looked like they were up for it today. The movement was just dire. When someone had the ball, just the movement on the pitch, there's just no desire to want it. And we're 1-0 down, and when the ball goes out for a throw-in, I mean, if Ellis isn't taking it, there's no urgency to get up and do it. There's no appetite to sort of want to win from what I see. I mean, I know if I was on that pitch, I'd be trying a lot harder and moving a lot more and just have a bit more urgency. Like, when we get the ball, if Slocum collects the ball, it's like they're just walking out the box. And it's been like that for a long time. I mean, it's obviously not Birchnell's fault, but I don't know. Frustrated after that game, to say the least. But yeah, I'm going to go head on into player ratings. Slocum, not had masses to do. Pulls off that save near the end of the game where they could have made it 2-0. Going to give him a 6. Can't really judge him off much else. Kelly Evans, someone we always praise on the channel. He's not been at it today. A lot of his passes have been quite negative, I find, like sideways or backwards passes. I feel like he's probably one of the players that's lacking a little bit of confidence. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Not to his usual standards by any stretch of the imagination. Ellis, you know, he gives away the penalty, but I'm not gonna mark him down on that. But again, he's not, for me, been his usual self today. I don't think he's been up to his usual standards, so I'm going to give him a 5, purely off the basis of, I mean, fair enough, other than the penalty, that we've been fairly tight, but we just do these little things when we're in possession, and it just looks sloppy, like passes that are just so sloppy. And I found he picked a couple of passes where it's just a little bit sloppy. And onto his partner, Turner. I'm going to give Turner a 6, actually. I thought he was better today. He was better of the two. Does fairly well, I think. And then he gives away a silly challenge at the end where he's just like sort of stood on the player and left him nowhere to go but to the ground. So yeah, an improvement in terms of performance for Turner, but not the best game to be, you know, coming into, I don't think, especially when you look at the way that the squad's played around him. Barnett, there was a couple of times today where I think his decision-making was completely wrong. It was just off. I don't know, I think it's difficult when you sort of, you're trying to work around a squad with the movement they had and stuff like that. It's difficult to make the right decision, I understand that, but he had a long-range effort, and it's like just inside their half, and I'm thinking, like, it's just outside the centre circle. I'm just thinking, you shouldn't be shooting from there. I'm sorry, I know he scored a long-range effort the other day, but I just don't think he should be. So, yeah, I'm going to give him a 5. Moving on up the pitch then. It did sort of look like we'd gone for 4-4-2 today, but when we were playing, it looked like we did change shape a little bit throughout the game. So I think it could have changed to a 4-2-3-1, but it did look a little bit like a 4-4-2 at times. I'm going to go on to O'Brien. I thought he was quite good today. One of the only players on the pitch for me. I mean, he wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but he was one of the players on the pitch that was passing the ball and then moving to try and regain the ball. And he was the player for me that had the most movement. So I'm going to give him a 6. Yeah, quite good from O'Brien. I'm hoping to see a bit more of him because I think he is a bit of a shining star at the moment in a glut of bad performances. Right, on to the captain, Reeves. I thought Reeves was really, really off colour today. I'm a huge fan of Reeves. I was saying this to Tom before the game started. We had a quick conversation before the game started, and I was sort of saying I'm glad to see Reeves get the captaincy. I think he's quite a good player. He's one of those players that can sort of dig you out of a rut as well, but today he was just really off his game. Sloppy in possession, some of his passing was poor. And then he's done that run as well late on where he's nearly not late on, but like in the second half where he's running towards our goal, trips over the ball and gives it to them and they nearly score. So sloppy from Reece today, I think. So I'm going to give him a 4.5. I mean, I hate to do this, but there's no other choice, I don't think. It's so difficult to talk positively about the team after today's performance. So yeah, I'll go on to Miller, another player that's been sloppy in possession. I think his crossing was quite bad today. Not as usual. You know, me and Tom quite like Miller as well. We've been quite positive about him. So yeah, another low score. I'm going to give him a 5.5. He looked energetic at times. Like he was making them penetrating runs down the line as well. So definite improvement for him. So yeah, I think that's fair. And Enzio, just not another player that just wasn't out today. Not his usual self. Whether it be all the team are a little bit deflated after Ardley's sacking. That seemed a little bit soon. I think most fans will agree with me in saying that. But yeah, just not high. It's the only way I can really put it. Not. I mean, he's done a couple of decent things. He's put a few decent crosses in, but not to the accuracy. He's not really beat many players today, man for man. So I'm gonna give Enzio a 5.5. Let me just see my notes here. I'm gonna go on to Wharton next. Just not another player that's just not been himself. I'm sorry. I mean, I've said it about a lot of the players here, but it just seems to be the way it is at the moment. Just a little bit anonymous, and he seems to be going down a lot. And I know he's probably getting climbed all over, and it is difficult. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I can't put my finger on what's gone on tonight. It's such a strange performance. And one player that I was surprised to see go off, I think he went off in like the 54th minute for Knowles, was Eli Sam. I thought he was probably our best player in the first half. Me and Tom, like we always say, we talk throughout the games, and we were talking throughout that first half, and we said he's probably the best player in the first half. Looked like he could have gone on to get us a goal. You know, he's doing them driving runs. He looks so strong when he's on the ball. Like, he pulls players towards him as well. So I think he's a really good player. And I thought he had a good half today. So I'm going to give him a 6. Sad to see him come off so early. But yeah, I'll go on to his replacement in Knowles. Should be scoring that late chance. I think it's on his left foot. He's just got to do better. I think if he gets it off the ground, it's going in 9 times out of 10. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that. In terms of impact on the game, he's not a huge impact on the game. So going to give him a 5.5. And Ruben Rodriguez, for me, when he came on, you could see him. He was creating a bit more movement for the team. He was trying to make the cogs turn a little bit more. So positive substitution. I think you could see him trying to work it. But at the end of the day, you know, he's not got the result he wants. He's not got the assist. He's not got a goal, and he's not really changed the outcome of the game. So I'm going to give him a 6, just purely for his impact. And obviously the last sub, Effiong, I'm going to give a 5. He didn't really do anything, did he, when he came on? So yeah, not a player ratings I've enjoyed doing, to be honest with you, because it's probably the lowest scores I've ever gave. If you watch, you probably see I'm quite generous with the scores. Quite enjoy doing player ratings, but it's probably the least enjoyable one today. So yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think of that result, performance, and what you thought of the style of play that we went for today, because it just seemed quite negative. Yeah, a little bit deflated. Well, I'm not a little bit deflated, I'm very deflated after that one, because it sort of blurs the lines for the direction of where we're going to be going now this season. So love to know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.